Very proud of that. I'm Haley Royal, one of your hosts. I'm here with Floriane again. Hi, Flo.
Hi.
And we're sitting here with Eboni Robinson and Logan Jackson of the film Leonetty. And before we go any further, Eboni, will you show us your shirt?
Yes.
This
Leonetty.
is the great. That is such great art. Poster art. It's so beautiful. Love it on a t-shirt. It's on the most beautiful vintage t-shirt I've ever seen.
Yes.
It's top notch. Where can we get those?
You can get them very soon at leonettymovie.com. We're working on getting those out to everyone.
And their merch is real. Merch is real here. This is so exciting. Okay, so now that we know where we can get the merch, give us a little log line for your film. What is it about?
So it's about a group of childhood friends who play this routine game every single day, but on one particular day, a very traumatic experience happens, and it kind of shapes the rest of their lives forever.
Okay.
Yeah.
This got deep. Really quickly. Okay. I have to readjust my attitude.
No,
Broke my heart.
Is it a personal story? Where does it come from?
It is a very personal story that comes from a childhood experience that I was a part of. And so the story has kind of been living inside of me for many, many years, ever since childhood, and it replays in my mind. So I wanted to do something to kind of bring awareness to a lot of the issues that the film touches on. So
is it replaying in your mind part of the decision for shooting on 16 millimeter?
Yeah, so we shot it in New Orleans, and so there's a certain level of texture that city brings, a lot of culture, and so 16 mil allows for the imperfections of cinema to really shine through, and so our character has a lot of flaws and imperfections, so it mirrors that perfectly with the 16 mil, and that was the decision for it.
What sort of conversations were you having to have with your camera team, with everyone really, to make sure that you were shooting effectively, because working with film can be a different monster than working digitally?
Well, the thing about shooting on film and what we really hung our hats on was it's going to be imperfect. Right. There's no shoot, delete, let me see it delete.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. You have to put complete trust in your crew and in your cast. And at the end of the day, if you capture something beautiful, then great. But if you capture something that wasn't so beautiful, you have to be creative in that space to try to make it work. And so it allows you to be more creative as opposed to digital. You don't have that luxury of getting things perfect.
Did you have to do a lot of rehearsals to be sure that when you're shooting, it is the one take you need to use?
A lot of rehearsals, but the film is also very visual, so there's not too much dialogue. Right, so we was able to be kind of strategic with our plan of action, right? So my DP Guido Raimondo, who shot the film, I wasn't even able to see like the monitor. Nobody was seeing the monitors. It was just trusting him in his eye and seeing if he can capture it. But it really pays ode to the essence of filmmaking and how it was.
Yeah, so it really was a conversation with your DP prior to the shoot to be on the same page, and then you trusted him completely.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds crazy, and trust me, my producers, like, they're always like, "This is crazy. Can we have a digital backup?" But it's kind of like the process for me, right? Like, you can climb a mountain, but you have to climb it with the least amount of tools as possible, right?
And I think that spirit of collaboration can really help you build a beautiful story from beginning to end, when you can find a team, find people that you really trust, that you really can say, I don't need it, I actually, you know what I want. Eboni, was that part of your responsibilities to bring together a team that felt like they could tell the same story?
Yeah, everyone's just really passionate about their medium. So whether it's the camera or the music or directing or acting, like everyone brings their full selves to every part of the film. So definitely something that's important. And the beauty of working with the Logan Jackson is he really does trust everyone to do what they do well. And so when you have a leader like that, you trust him, you know.
Right.
So, yeah.
So how did you find Guido? did you know him before?
It's an interesting story with Guido, who's incredible cinematographer. But he's seen My Hero. So I had a short film called My Hero, which made some waves on the circuit. And he's seen that film, and ever since that, he really, really wanted to work with me.
Okay.
He's like, whatever you want to do, I'll shoot it for free, basically. Just,
Wow.
And so that level of, trust within one another created this bond, and we was able to make something beautiful. So.
Yeah, you know that a person like that understands the tone that you're trying to create and the story you're trying to tell.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic. How did you go about casting?
Actors Access, right? You just put out online posts.
Did you work with a casting director?
No. We did it ourselves. Just putting out posts. Just very, very like old school way of going about things. And I mean, there's incredible talent out there, obviously, as you can see. So we was able to just cast directly with Actors Access.
We love that.
incredible.
We love when we're auditioning directly for a director. That's really
Did
nice.
you have in mind what you were looking for, or did you get surprised by some tapes and like how's that relationship growing?
Well, I knew we wanted to cast originals from native to New Orleans. That was very, very critical, so the project could be very authentic. I didn't want to do too much outsourcing for this film, and so that was the only stipulation was are these kids authentic to New Orleans? Are they authentic to the culture? Growing up in New Orleans, there is a certain moxie that kids have when they walk around and they talk to one another. It's a different level of I guess just companionship that they have as friends. So that had to be authentic and critical. That was the only stipulation.
What, Logan, is your personal philosophy on the order of operations you follow after you call cut? Who do you speak to first?
Maybe producer, right? Maybe yeah. I mean, you have
Is that true, Ebony?
I mean, yeah.
I think so, right?
Yeah. I'm always close by.
Yeah. Producers are always involved, but I think like the first thing that I do as soon as that last cut happens is embrace the actors, right? Figure out if they're all right, if they're doing good, especially with a very like heavy psychological piece.
Yes.
You want to make sure that they're okay first, and then I go to the DP. Was like, okay, did you get that? How was that shot good? Is it a martini shot, or do we need to go another one?
Right.
You know.
What did you recognize in your actors' relationships with the camera team?
Wow. So when you see the film, a lot of the facial expressions of Leonetty were filmed after we yelled cut. Right. So with kids, soon as you say action, they stiffen up and try to be little actors, right? So what I like to do is roll after we cut, because those like genuine expressions usually come through at that point. And so with this film, the kid who plays Leonetty, even though they are just jokes, it's still part of bullying, and he still was kind of sunken by that. So after those cuts, we kept rolling on his expression, and he was kind of just into himself and looking off into the distance. Of course, we consoled him and made sure everything was all right, but words cut deep.
Yeah. Do you continue to roll for a minute? What's your regular amount of time that you kind of set with your DP to let them to keep going?
Well, I mean, because we're shooting on 16 mil,
You can't go too long.
you can't take too long, but you don't want to be too short, right? So I always try to give at least like 15 to 20 seconds after that cut to just roll on an expression, because I did the editing as well, so I know that I'll always have something to cut to.
Right.
So but I'm still conscious, because my DP is like, hey, we only got one roll of film left. It's like, all right, we can cut there, you know.
Yeah, I see. What do each of you feel like you learned that you're going to take away from this experience?
I'll let Ebony go first with that.
To make work that matters, and to really be intentional about the thoughts, images, and messages you're putting out there. That's important to me. So
yeah, I think so. I think that's been like our kind of like motto, and why we love working with one another. Well, I love working. I don't know if she loves working with me, we love working with one
Most
another.
of the time. No.
The bigger overall message is always community impact, and so just learning, like, these short films are kind of like experimental, so you can find your voice. So I'm learning what I love to do, which is I love shooting on original film. I love putting social commentary in films to have a broader audience with an impactful message. Those things are going to be pillars for the rest of my career. So you learn that during this phase.
Yeah, it's great. Feels like you're filmmakers with a lot of texture. That's the word that you use every time you talk about what you like to shoot on, what you're thinking about. Feels like a lot of texture, and I really love that. Leonetty is screening on the 19th, so if you're at the festival, try to make it. You said 2:30?
Yes.
2:30 on the 19th. Get there. If you can't, you can still watch it on bitpixtv.com. I know that the last time I said that out loud, I did it incorrectly, so here's a correction for you. Thank you so much, Eboni and Logan, for joining us and telling us about your film.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you all soon. Bye.
This has been another episode of the Cinematography for Actors podcast. Follow us on wherever you listen to your podcast to keep up to date on new episode releases. We will be live through August 20th here at HollyShorts Film Fest. If you're here, drop in and say a little hello at the VIP lounge. We also want to thank our sponsors, Apogee, Film Tools, Roscoe, Lightstone Rentals, Canon, and First Mile Tech. As a special gift to you listeners, we've partnered with We Make Movies to get you a discount on comprehensive production insurance packages. Use code CFA23 on your intake form for 10% off your quote by visiting wemakemovies.org/insurance.
If you missed any of our live streams, you can watch all of our interviews on our YouTube channel, Cinematography for Actors. And make sure you follow us on Instagram at Cinematography for Actors. You can also catch us in a more formal setting on Monday, August 14th at Japan House for a panel discussion on the importance of bridging the gap between talent and crew. You can get 20% off of your ticket purchase by using the code HSFF2023CFA at checkout.
Thanks!